Hello, everyone. Welcome back for some more. Let's read Higurashi with the Tatarigoroshi chapter, which has so far been hard. Difficult is the right term. Please excuse my seemingly happy-looking eyes. They are anything but right now. So, that's the wrong button. Didn't mean to press that. Let me try pressing that again. All right, there we go. I don't know. Okay. Gotta remember. Don't press it while I'm on the game. Anyways, the die of fate has been cast. Reporting to a public agency, which we'd kept being warned could result in something far worse for Satoko if we didn't have the evidence first, and just like that. Had I failed? Had I let my emotions get the better of me in that moment? Maybe I should have stayed silent, but left everything to Mion, since she was been relatively calm. I remember the punishment game where we had to try badmouth curry, and how me saying anything would have made it worse, and Satoko told us to leave the talking to her. Maybe it was the same thing here. I was impulsive, so maybe I should have just shut up and looked at the floor. But it was too late to lament it. The die I had thrown wouldn't be coming back into my hands. All we could do was pray for something good to happen. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I'm like so worried. How are we even like supposed to be able to do the second half of the school day, you know?
俺にできる精一杯。本当に俺が死に物狂いに精一杯だったら、里子を夕べのうちに連れ出して、どこかの廃屋にでも隠れてる。
Alright. I feel like you could have... I know where you're going with this, buddy, but I feel like you could have phrased that a little bit better.
そうならなかったってことは、俺は精一杯じゃなかったってことだろ。
もう考えるのはよそ。
Oh, easy for you to say.
圭一君、少し根を詰めすぎだよ。そんな調子じゃ、圭一君まで倒れちゃう。
Just leave me alone. I left her with those words and stared lazily up at the ceiling. I wondered if I really got Chie-sensei to understand. Would the public agency intervene and solve everything within the day? Would they acknowledge the abuse and guarantee her safety? After lunch break, our afternoon classes were mostly self-study. Yeah, because the teacher was a little busy, I think. The teacher came back to the classroom occasionally, but then the phone in the lounge would ring and she'd have a long conversation with the caller. Why are they having long conversations? Why is this worth discussing? Why is this not doing action? Everyone in the classroom got the feeling they knew what those phone calls were about. Oh boy. Sensei came trotting back from the classroom.
何度も電話で本当にすみませんでしたね。では今日はこれでおしまいにします。委員長、号令。起立。
I've had to do these before, where you're just so distracted with something way more important. You know, as a teacher, you just kind of have to find a way to do your job while also dealing with something else. It's tough. It looked to me like Sensei had been wearing a dark expression ever since after lunch break. It wasn't a very relieving expression. It wouldn't be. Even if Sensei 100% understood the situation and passionately explained it to the other person, at the end, the Child Consultation Center as a public agency would be the ones to decide whether to get her to safety. Sensei understood that as well as us, and that's why she looks so unreliable right now.
ケイちゃん、帰ろうよ。部活する気も起きないでしょ。
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
みーちゃん、部活は誰がかけても面白くないよ。
Rana was right. It was no fun for us if someone was missing. If the teacher's expression had shown more promise, well, then maybe we could have gone home more comfortably. But I couldn't let myself feel relieved. I couldn't be naive and tell myself all I can do is pray now that the die had been cast. Oh my god. Even the theming of the dice being like a board game. Oh my god. It wraps back around so well. Just in case they didn't get her to safety and decided to wait and see again, I needed to take further measures. We've asked the people who could do something official already. Then there was one more place that was worth asking for help. She might laugh it off. Or I might be right, and I could be endangering my own life. But I'd try.
ミオ、今日さ、お前の家に寄ってもいいか？
Oh. Are we getting Grandma?
お前、漫画かなり持ってるんだろ？少しまとめ狩りしたいんだけどな。
え？いいけど。
There was an ominous meaning behind my words, so Mion realized what I really meant right away. I wanted to talk about something alone. That's what I meant.
兄ちゃん、ケイチくん、早く帰ろう。
Rena already had her shoes on and was waving to us from the schoolyard. Mion's house was, well, gigantic in every imaginable way. The house itself was a vaguely old-fashioned traditional Japanese house, but the yard, I guess, or the plot of land, was enormous. It easily convinced me that they really were major landowners with Hinamizawa under their thumb. Mion brought me through the guest room and a servant brought us some tea.
へえ、さすが金持ちだな。お手伝いさんなんか雇ってるのかよ。
私とバッチャしか住んでないもの。私だけじゃやってけないよ。
Yeah, with a place that big, someone's gonna have to maintain the premises. The servant left, telling us it was 5 o'clock, then withdrew with soft footsteps.
週に2、3回ね。バッチャの世話とか掃除の手伝いで来てくれてる。
That's fair. I live in a tiny apartment, and I still get someone to clean once a week.
3、4人がローテーションで入ってくれてるんで、大抵毎日誰かがいてくれるよ。夕方までだけどね。あ、宴会とかがあって人手が欲しい時には別途に呼んでるんだけどさ。
I had the money to hire all those people, then, well, just take Satoko in. I glared at her as I thought that, and, well, Mion seemed to catch on immediately.
ごめん。
いいよ。金の問題じゃないことは分かってるからな。
先に言っとくけど、うちはお金持ちかもしれないけど、私に自由にできるお金は全くないんだからね。
That's fair, right? That's sort of like, you might have the kid at school with rich parents, but if the parents don't use that money on the kid, they might as well just be like anyone else.
そこだけは誤解しないでほしい。
Kind of looked like I was bullying her. Well, Mion had been apologizing to me a lot lately. Was Mion the sort of person who would do that this much? Maybe it's just that I've been looking so grim lately.
でさ、何？ケイちゃん、なんか話があったんじゃないの？
It's like, no, I wanted the
ミオ
manga.
にかなり本気な話がある。
Yeah. She got Skypea from One Piece. I want to reread it. I feel like it's pretty important right now.
突然な話で、ミオは面食らうかもしれないが、聞いてほしい。
Okay, I've been on the receiving end of this before. Always terrifying.
何？
あ、先に逃げ道を渡しておくな。仮に本当だったとして、ミオはそれを認めてくれなくてもいい。
Oh, wait. Hold up. Are we gonna say like, hey, is your family Oyashiro-sama?
しらばっくれててもいい。
Oh my god, are we doing this?
だけれど、最後まで俺の話は聞いてほしい。
Are we going and being like, hey, is Oyashiro-sama not real and it's your like extended family and all the members of the community which you get to kill people?
鬼ヶ淵村御三家の今や筆頭家、その次期当主の園崎美代に話がある。
Oh my god, we were told everything, huh? At first, Mion looked like she had no idea what I was saying. Yeah, but then as soon as she heard that last part, right, at hearing the whole sentence and putting it together, she reacted. She get a
どこで聞い
persona
たの？
change? Yeah, no, yeah, she's all ready.
それは関係ないことだ。
I definitely couldn't tell her who told me. Takano-san, you told me not to, but please forgive me. Okay, so the thing off screen where we asked for what it is, this is where we're getting it, huh? This is why I asked you about it after all.
ケイちゃんが鬼ヶ淵村の名を知ってることだけでも驚きだけど、私についていろいろとあることないことを知ってそうだね。
The false stuff might be interesting.
ああ、あること、ないことだ。俺が勘違いしてるだけなのかもしれない。でも、それでもいいから聞いてくれ。そして、もしも本当なんだったら。
ケイちゃんが何の話をしようとしてるかわからないけど、話す前に釘を刺すよ。とにかくケイちゃんは大きな勘違いをしてる。だからできるなら、私はケイちゃんの話も聞きたくない。
Huh.
聞いても何も叶えてあげられないからね。でも話すことでケイちゃんの肩が少しでも軽くなるなら聞くよ。
This is an extremely fair thing to say. The idea of like, you've given me an out. I'm not gonna say I'm going to not take it. I might still take it, but I do want to hear it first because if talking will help you, I will give you that. I think that is an extremely mature thing to do. That is absolutely fair for both sides.
本当に聞くだけ。何も起こらないよ。それでもいいね。
あ、
Mion seemed to know what kind of thing I'd be talking about. She warned me that doing so would be fruitless. That much was obvious. If what I was going to say was true, then the Sonozaki family would be the mastermind behind the string of freak deaths that have been occurring every year in Hinamizawa.
お社様のたたりってあるよな。
Mion nodded a little.
正体不明。なぜ起こるのかも不明。個々には解決しながらも、全体で見れば不可解な連続開始、連続失踪事件。でも、一つだけ共通することがある。それは、必ず村の旧敵が標的に選ばれること。
みたいだね。
I mean, and push comes to shove. Your family is kind of the representation of the village. Mion spoke as if it didn't relate to her. That was fine. She didn't have to admit it. For now, I just wanted her to stay quiet and listen to me.
あさってだろ、綿流し。今年のたたりの犠牲者ってさ、もう決まってるのか？
Mion didn't answer. Her expression remained the same too, which, by the way, like, this terrifying expression. It's one of those things where it's not neutral, but it's also not happy, you know? Like, it's a... I wish there was a word for this type of expression when someone is neutral, but like with a light smile, and like how that's the scariest. Is there a word for that? There's probably like a freaking like German word for it. The Germans come up with crazy words for stuff that we'd never consider, and it's like great. Like Schadenfreude is an amazing term that we need in English. I mean, we kind of adopted that phrase, but you know, like she said, it was just quietly listening.
ごめんな。聞いてるだけって約束なのに、質問しちゃ変だよな。
Yeah. Mion gave a look that she'd never given me before. A faraway look. A sympathetic one. That's close. That's close. She didn't nod. She just smiled faintly and listened to me.
もしも、今年のたたりが、里子のおじじゃなかったなら、里子のおじに変えてくれ。だって、去年は里子のおばだろ。順番から言えば、決しておかしくはないだろ。
そうだね。そういう順序もあるね。
第一あいつ、去年のたたりでおばが死んだ後、里子を放り出して丸1年。そんなやつ、もろにお社様のたたり確定じゃないかよ。今年のたたりに選んでも不足はないはずだぜ。
そうだね。今年のたたりであいつが死んでも、多分みんな納得するね。
In fact, I think most people would celebrate. Aside from his buddies who he, has a drink with. But, they might be the year after that.
俺、 聞いたんだ。お社様のたたりってのは、その。
The only problem is, right? And here's the issue with this. There's also always a demoning away, right? And who would that be? The only options are Satoko, because of the closeness, or us, because we're kind of asking for this death to occur, you know? Wait a sec. Now wait just a moment. What if it's revealed? And I need to go back and double check. But every time there was a demoning away, the one who's demoned away is the one who came to ask for the killing. Like it's an equivalent exchange thing, right? Satoshi, who was probably demoned away at this point. We've been using the word transferred, but let's be real, it's probably what it is. If he got his aunt killed, right? I wonder. That would be very interesting. No matter how I looked at it, I wasn't sure whether I should continue. No matter how I tried, the words wouldn't come out.
ひなみ沢連続開始事件、通称お社様のたたりは、園崎家が主導で御三家が起こしている村ぐるみの事件だでしょ。
Yes
別に俺は
or not.
それにミオンが関わってるとかそんなのには興味がないんだ。ただもしもそういうたたりを決めている連中に渡りがつくなら、里子のおじをたたりに選ぶように言ってほしいだけなんだ。頼む。
ケイちゃんの言ってる内容はさっきから本当にひどいこと。
But sometimes we have to be terrible.
ひなみ沢連続開始事件が園崎家主導の事件なんだとしたら、それじゃあ主犯格は私ってことだよね。
Not necessarily. Right? You have a grandma. This just might be your first year.
私がたたりを決め指示をし、何人も殺めて消したことになる。ケイちゃんは私を人殺し呼ばわりするんだ。
We all got a couple skeletons in our closet.
だから言ってるじゃないか。ミオンが連続殺人の主犯だろうと無関係だろうと、たとえミオンが殺人犯だって俺の親友であることには何も関係ないじゃないか。それでも全然構わないんだぜ。警察に追われたら助けてやる。
This is interesting, of course, after last time.
お前のアリバイを作ってやるし、逃走だって助けてやる。仲間で親友だからだ。そうだろ。
Oh, Mion looked surprised for a while. She was dumbfounded.
いきなり共犯宣言？ケイちゃん、かなり大胆だよそれ。
Listen. We need to kill this guy. All right? It's as simple as that. This guy needs to be killed. Okay? We can talk all day about the logistics of it. I need this guy dead.
いいから話の腰を折るな。佐藤のおじを今年のたたりに。
ケイちゃんストップ。そろそろご飯の準備をしたいから今日はこれくらいにしたいんだけど。
ミオ。
I then realized that my cheeks were wet with tears. They slid down my chin and fell, drip dropped to the tatami mat.
最初から言ってる通り、ケイちゃんは大きな勘違いをしてる。お社様のたたりはお社様のたたり。たとえ人間の起こした事件であったにせよ、それは園崎家とは、ましてや私とは何の関係もないよ。
Is it a collective unconsciousness thing? Is it not the three families, but rather the general will of the village itself?
ああ、それは分かっているさ。
だからケイちゃんの必死の訴えには胸を打たれるけど、 それだけ。私が叶えてあげたくても叶えてあげられない。
Damn. You can't send some Yakuza fellas to go beat him up for money?
それもわかるね。
You can't be like, Timmy, you know, and then you go in there with the brass knuckles. And you're like, I hear you've been disrespecting our family. And he'd be like, no, please, I didn't do anything. And then we beat him up with heat actions. It's probably not great, though, for their image.
あ
でもケイちゃんの気持ちは痛いくらいに分かったよ。もしも本当に私がケイちゃんの言うように御三家を操って毎年の犠牲者を選べる立場にあったなら、きっと私はケイちゃんの願いを叶えているよ。
ミオ。
でも現実は違う。私はただの園崎ミオン。確かに園崎家はいろいろな意味で悪い噂を持って連続開始事件とは何の関係もない。
Yeah, there's a lot that your family's responsible for, but it's not this one specific thing. Okay.
ダム闘争では確かに少々過激な抵抗もしたけれど、それだけ。人殺しなんて大それたこと絶対にやらないよ。
Aren't you literally a Yakuza conglomerate? Isn't that what they do?
そんな悲しいこと言うなよ。せめて今だけでも嘘でもいいからうなずいてくれればいいじゃないか。
ケイちゃん、
That's such a sad idea. That idea of I wish you would just lie to me to make me happy.
夢を見るのは勝手。私がここでうなずいてみせれば、ケイちゃんはサトコがあさっての夜に解放されると信
But
じて
then it
肩の
wouldn't
荷を下ろすことが
happen.
できるんだろうけどね。
Yeah, and then if it didn't happen, we would feel terrible.
でも無情にもサトコの叔父はあさっての夜も超える。
It is such a dramatic turn to go from wanting no one to die and hoping and praying no one dies to, no, I want this one guy to die and trying to come up with every way for that guy to die because he sucks.
来週になっても再来週になっても居続ける。それを覚悟してね。私は綿流しの次の日に
Yeah.
なぜ殺さなかったなんてケイちゃんに詰め寄られたくない。
ミオ。
Mion stood up slowly and closed the sliding door so to keep out the wind that was grown chilly.
ミオさんかな、ケイちゃんにそんな話を吹き込んだのは。
Who?
あの人、ひなみ沢をいい感じに誤解してるからな。
I don't know this person.
まあ本人が一人で楽しんでる分にはいいんだけど。
I don't know her and her weird 30-year-old chest beefers.
ケイちゃんを感化するのはいただけないな。
Sorry, chest beefers may influence me.
やれやれ、これだからよそ者は。
高野さんは関係ないからな。
はいはい、でも安心して。仮にミオさんがケイちゃんに喋ったと分かったって別にどうにもならないんだから。別にミオさんが今年のタタリに選ばれるわけじゃない。そもそも今年もタタリがあるかどうかなんてわからないよ。
That's interesting.
あんなの不幸な偶然がただ積み重なっただけなんだからさ。
聞いてくれて
I mean, I
ありがとな。
kind of doubt that's going to be the case.
もしもミオンが連続事件と何の関係もなかったなら本当に不愉快な話をした。謝っておくな。
そうだね、謝っておいてくれるかな。
What do you mean by that? Huh. That's loaded, what she just said. Mion said she didn't have much time, but she brought me to the gate. She said she had a meeting or something today about Sunday's Watanagashi festival, so there would be a lot of people from the town council and the festival committee coming. Despite her day being so busy, she still listened to what I had to say.
天に神様がいるならさ、きっとケイちゃんの強い思いは伝わるから。
You know, I don't know if God's very sympathetic to wanting murder.
あ、
I mean, paradox of tolerance and all that, but
今日は変な話をして本当にごめんな。今日の話はなかったことにしてくれていい。
Has that line ever worked? You can pretend like this discussion never happened? Like when you confess to a childhood friend that you love her, and then she says no, and then she's like, well, let's pretend that never happened, but then she never talks to you again. I don't think that works.
忘れておくよ。
じゃあ明日な。
バイバイ。
I had really only spent a short time with Mion. Talking to her made me think. It was clear that what Takano-san had told me, at least, wasn't a complete fabrication. I wonder if it's just she gave the information we learned in the last route. If Mion really was really unconnected to the instance, then she probably wouldn't have listened to me so quietly. She heard me out till I was done without making any quips, and I wanted to think that was proof. I did kind of feel like I was grasping at straws. Of course, thinking back on it, it was a terrible thing to discuss. I mean, I went to my friend's house, called her a serial murderer, and then told her to kill Satoko's uncle. I was the only one talking that whole time. Mion quietly listened to everything I had to say, like a pastor listening to confession. I do wonder what that is in Japanese. So I kind of doubt it would be a reference to that, but maybe it was. I don't know. She could have gotten angry partway through, told me off, and to go wash my face in miso soup and come back later. I would do that. That sounds delicious. But she didn't. Was that proof that Mion's family, the Sonozaki, were the masterminds? Or was she just listening because she felt sorry for me going kind of crazy? I didn't know which it was, but it was the one effort I could make at the moment. It was another form of insurance, should worse come to worst and the public agency decided to wait and see. It was a completely useless resistance, literally grasping at straws. Sensei said that if she reported it to the Child Consultation Center, they'd have to respond on the same day. Could they already be in the middle of responding to it now? If Satoko came to school tomorrow morning all energetic, then everything would just be a needless fear. Why couldn't tomorrow come faster? Dude, you gotta pop a melatonin. You're not gonna sleep, you gotta take one. That night was unusually hot and humid. I couldn't get to sleep. No, I think it's your brain, buddy, but I said all that to Sensei. I couldn't possibly decide to wait and see again this year. I will say, if you call child services on someone and you go once and you're like, okay, we'll wait and see, and then later it's okay, and then next year you have to do it, you're called it again, then you should go, no, hold up, right? Why would we get this call twice from two different people unless something was up? Then again, you gotta consider internal corruption and all that, which I hate. That's so tough to reconcile with. Satoko, what was it like for her tonight? Had she tasted the end of her nightmare, enjoying a night of liberation? I actually put my hands together and prayed into my futon. Oh, wow. Morning came. Oh, we're running to school, huh? Oh, we're going.
おはよう、ケイチく
おはよ
ん。よかった。今日もお寝坊かと思ったよ。昨日はおばさまには先に行ったって言われるし、学校には来ていないし、途中で日射病で倒れちゃったのかなって心配してたんだから。
Oh god, that's a scary idea, right? Hearing that your friend left but didn't arrive? Yeah, okay, no, never mind, you would be worried.
う。へいへい。昨日は心配かけて申し訳ございませんでした。
Hey, good morning.
Very good English.
みーちゃん、おはよ
One thing I do like, though, sometimes is, so the way she said, like, good morning there, right?
Hey, good morning.
Which it was, that's good pronunciation, honestly. But I do like where if they speak English, then you translate it to another language. Like, put it to Guten Morgen, right? It's close enough. It carries the same idea.
大丈夫？なんかすっごく眠そうだ
All
よ。
right, yeah, because she had the meeting.
そういえば昨日は遅くまで町会の人が集まっての打ち合わせ会だったんだろ？
打ち合わせ会なんて名ばかりの宴会だよ。
Of course.
毎年やってるお祭りだもん。今さら小難しい打ち合わせなんかないし。
今日の午後はやっぱりお祭りのお手伝いに行くのかな？
うん。バッチャの代わりにいろいろ挨拶しなきゃなんないし。それにね、祭りってのは準備からもう始まってるからね。
I have to wonder how long ago it was that the grandma, like, stopped being in power. I don't know if we heard that or not, but I do think that's important to know. Is it a this year thing or is it older? Our morning conversation was lighthearted as usual. It looked like Mion had thankfully forgotten about how I barged into her house yesterday with that crazy talk. The more I think back on it, I feel like I said something really terrible to her, but not as terrible as the thing I could have said to her with a doll. But don't worry about that, we're not in that timeline. I was really thoughtless, and it wouldn't have been weird if she'd yelled at me. It was highly possible Takano-san had exaggerated her story. To think that our comrade and friend, Mion, the young leader of the Sonozakis, one of the three families effectively controlling Hinamizawa, was pulling the strings behind the serial death incidents was a little unbelievable. You know what they say, think about you and your three friends, right? And if one's not a serial killer and the other's not a serial killer, you gotta look at yourself and say, well, you're probably a serial killer. Or homosexual, but that it could be either one or both. Could be both, statistically speaking, right? But if there was even a 1% chance that it was true, then what I said yesterday to Mion might have been a success. Yes, it was no more than 1 in 100. But that little bit of effort might have brought the chance of saving Satoko up by even a tiny bit. At least I'd made that effort. After yesterday ended, I was sure I'd done everything I possibly could. If there was something else I could do, it was probably just to clap my hands and pray that Satoko's uncle would be killed by the curse.
さとこ、今日は来ているといいな。
そうだね。先生がいろいろと手配してくれたんでしょ？うん、きっと大丈夫だよ。
My greatest fear right now is us getting to school and them saying, like, I'm your substitute teacher today. Because then we'd know what happened.
ひなみざわ地区の民生委員が私のおばさんなんだけどさ。
Oh, yeah? Yeah?
ゆうべ電話して聞いてみた
Oh,
よ。
good. Okay, good. I was gonna say, because they kind of failed before.
へえ、みーちゃんのおばさんって民生委員さんなんだね。それで、さとこちゃんのことなんて言ってたの？
うん。先生があの後、直接県の児童相談所に電話してね。児童福祉士が夕べのうちに訪問したらしいよ。私のおばさんにも今後定期的にアプローチするようにと連絡があったって。
That's not gonna help.
小難しい話はいいよ。それより、さとこはどうなったんだよ。保護されたのか？
Yeah, obviously not.
おばさんはそこまでは知らされてなかったみたい。
No, because then if they're still doing visits, it's obviously not.
本来はこういうのって秘密だからね。おばさんが私に話してくれたのも十分に倫理違反なんだしさ。
It's alright, we all breach ethics every now and then. It's just you do it as a little treat on your job.
くそ、かえって不安になったぞ。
行こう、学校に。
Right. Discussing this more would make us feel worse. It was far quicker to go to school and see if Satoko was safe or not. There's no way she's here. The three of us nodded and ran off. Was Satoko safe? What measures had the Child Consultation Center taken? I didn't care what, as long as we could go back to our peaceful life with Satoko today, it didn't matter to me. The At the shoe racks at the entrance, Rena took a peek in Satoko's shoe cubby.
さとこちゃんの靴あるよ、あるよ。
But part of me is also like, what if those were left here because she's not coming back?
ケイちゃん、さとこは来てるよ。よかった。
来てるだけじゃわからないだろ。サトコの顔を見るまで
Yeah.
何もわかるものか。
We trotted towards the classroom. The classroom was lively, as it usually was in the morning.
サトコ、どこだ？
ここにちゃんといますですよ。朝っぱらから騒々しいですわね。
Oh my god, she's here.
少しはお静かになさいませ。さとこちゃん、大丈夫だった？
All of our friends crowded around Satoko excitedly.
保護士来たんでしょ？どういう話になったわけ？
I don't feel like she'd talk about this, though.
呼んだのはどなたですの？まったくどんな騒ぎでしたのよ。
Oh my god.
先生だよ。あれだけ欠席すりゃ心配もする。
Satoko said, I told you I'm fine under her breath. Oh no, she knows it's us. She was still trying to overcome all the suffering on her own.
私もおじさまもとんだ迷惑でしたのよ。急にあんなに人に押しかけられて、もう。みんなさとこちゃんのこと心配してたんだよ。迷惑だなんて言わないで。
ああ、もうとにかくそれでどうなったんだよ。
どうもこうもしませんわ。
Of course.
風邪が治ったから学校に来ただけのことですのよ。
I'm so frustrated right
これ
now.
からはあんまりお休みして心配をかけないようにしないといけませんわね。
What was Satoko saying?
おじさんはどうなったの？ええ、多少誤解があったことを認めて、二人でごめんなさいをしまして。
I'm furious right now. Tug. Rika-chan grabbed the back of my collar and pulled me away.
なんだよ、リカちゃん。
Rika-chan silently dragged me all the way into the hallway.
リカちゃん、あれはどういうことだよ。
さとこは何でもないと言って追い返してしまいました。
God, she doesn't want to cooperate.
バカ野郎！
Yeah.
なんで？
No. Somewhere in my mind, I thought it might turn out like this. Satoko didn't ask for anyone's help. She didn't hide behind anyone. She was trying to ride out this pain. She wanted to show Satoshi proof that if he came back to them, she wouldn't need to hide behind him anymore.
だけど、監督に聞いた話じゃ、保護士ってのは本人の意思に関係なく緊急保護をすることができるんだろ？いくらサトコが虐待を否定したって、虐待は事実。
Chie-sensei finally came. Her expression was far from cheerful.
前原君の言う通り、児童福祉士は緊急性があると判断すれば、職権で緊急保護をすることができます。
How much is he paying them?
当事者の意思に関係なく。
じゃあどうしてサトコの意思が変に尊重されて保護されないことに？
それに、沖宮の相談所もいろいろ検討した末にそういう判断を。
なんだよそりゃ！先生、昨日あんた絶対に助けるから大丈夫って言わなかったか？これはどういうことだよ！おかしいじゃねえかよ！おい！
Oh my god.
圭一、実はさとこの児童虐待の通報はこれが3回目なのです。
You think that someone would realize at the third time that something is wrong? Like, once as a false report, okay, you know what? It happens, right? It happens. Twice? Now we're getting, I don't think so. 3 times. If you, like,
過去にも2回あったのです。
at the third time, And they're not doing any. I'm as mad as I would be in real life right now.
フルデさん、
Sensei tried to stop her, but Rika-chan went on speaking anyway.
過去に一昨年の冬に通報して様子見になったって話は聞いてるが、その前にもあったのか？
聡子の死んでしまったお父さんは聡子の本当のお父さんではないのです。
Oh. Huh. Okay, so she's fully unrelated. I guess she's fully unrelated to them? Or wait, or was it a remarriage with the mother?
リカちゃん、それが。
That's confusing in a couple ways. Stunned at the sudden revelation. I had no idea what Rika-chan wanted to tell me, but it seemed really important, so I couldn't get a word in either.
聡子のお母さんは再婚なのです。
Mother was real, father's new.
聡子とサトシはお母さんの連れ子で、お父さんとは血はつながっていなかったのです。
I'm so scared why this is relevant. Satoshi was a good kid, one who listened politely to what adults told him. He was immediately welcomed by their new father and was loved. But Satoko was different. She was rebellious, she told lies, she played pranks. Her stepfather didn't like her at all. Oh.
つまりどういうことだよ？
So wait. Not so, oh my god, her father, her aunt, her uncle. This would be almost comedic if it wasn't so tragic. Everyone in her life.
おじ夫婦に預けられる以前の家族の時もあまり良好な家族関係ではなかったのです。
Slightly worrying that it's family and not just father. Of course, her stepfather didn't have any malicious intent at the start. At first, he must have worked hard to get his new daughter to accept him. But the young Satoko didn't make any effort at all towards that end. She was distant towards her stepfather, never opened her heart up to him even a little. She just got on his nerves all the time with seemingly forced lies and pranks. Her father's discipline and punishment must have been loving at first, of course, but that too faded quickly.
私はその時はひなみ沢にいなかったから昨日電話で初めて知りました。
先生が聞いたのはどんな話ですか？
聡子ちゃんが両親、特に義理のお父さんを陥れるのを目的に自分で生活相談所に電話した。
Oh no. Oh, that puts the biggest wrench in this plan possible.
自称と作り話？
聡子は嫌いなお父さんを追い払
Oh
うため、
no.
嘘の電話をしたのです。
Oh no. Oh god. Oh, that just throws so many problems into the mix. Child welfare officers rushed there and heard the story. Her father genuinely apologized for a few times when he had gone too far and agreed to let the child welfare center give him coaching. Now this is where I want to cry, because when I was having issues with my father, like, I thought about this. Like, I did. I mean, nothing serious, but you know, when you have fights with your family when you're little, like, this is something that I deeply considered. Just because we were having disagreements, but like, thinking to it now, I want to beat up little snot-nosed me, right? And at the end of the day, you know, it didn't go through with it, but like the damage that this would do is huge.
いろいろと関係機関が調べた結果ね、ギフと聡子ちゃんの心のすれ違いに原因があることは分かったんだけど、
Which, I wonder if that would lead to, you know, family therapy.
それ以上に聡子ちゃん自身に問題があることが分かったの。
Oppositional defiance?
聡子に問題って何です？
Does she have oppositional defiance disorder? I kind of felt like that a bit. Wait, what? Satoko's mother. There are a few times where she had lived with de facto husbands, though those relationships didn't result in remarriage. From a young age, Satoko had been forced to call at least 2 or 3 people her father. At some point, Satoko's pranks escalated. Oh, I'm shivering right now. She would spill food on purpose, turn over her plate, even throw it. She would break the windows in the neighborhood and shoplift candy. She would put thumbtacks everywhere and set other traps to seriously hurt people. Not in the way she did just now to get laughs. She was also fond of telling lies that would be found out right away, and, well, people got mad at her every time. But she never ever changed her behavior.
さとこちゃんのことを問題児なんて思わないでね。これは幼いさとこちゃんが母親を知らない男に取られまいとして取った自衛的な行為なの。
In regards to Satoko's problematic behaviors, okay, child psychology experts from public institutions indicated her actions were to draw her mother's attention to herself. So it's not like it is a type of oppositional defiance disorder, but it's not not like fetal alcohol based or anything like that. It's coming from environment, not from being raised, or rather from birth even. They acknowledged that she had a form of harmful emotional trauma and declared she needed counseling and therapy from professionals, which, yeah, absolutely. They didn't know whether that therapy had healed the wounds in her heart.
さとこちゃんはわざと体に傷を作り、お父さんに虐待を受けているとね。
でも結局サトコをいじめてたわけだろ、その義父は。
いいえ。虐待の話は全部さとこちゃんの作り話だった。
I can't even... Is this revealing that the uncle is not abusive? And that it is Oh no. I mean, I still want him dead. I don't like him, but...
義理のお父さんはもちろん少し感情的な叱り方をしてしまったかもしれないけど、
What are we
逸脱してい
doing?
るほどではなかったの。
What are we doing? No. There's no way, right? There's no way it's just gonna be that actually it's I'm not happy. 'Cause that's what this is implying, right? Satoko had lied to chase away her stepfather. And they saw through her right away. And found out that Satoko had issues.
ひょっとしてそのせいで一昨年の冬は様子見に。
Yeah. Right?
はい。児童相談所に
Frick.
ちゃんと昔の記録が残ってましたですから。
Like, of course, when that's what happened last time, you'd wait and see. Of course. Oh, I'm so mad right now.
さとこの嘘の可能性もあるから慎重に。
Right?
ということになりましたのです。
That 100% makes sense.
なんだよそれ。つまりなんだよ。サトコは嘘をつくかもしれないから慎重に。だから様子を見ろってことになってんのかよ。
狼と羊飼いさんなのです。
Exactly. That fable about telling a lie once, making others unwilling to believe you later.
ふざけんなよ。昔のことなんか全然無関係だろ。サトコはおじに虐待されている。どうしてその事実が昔の出来事で歪められなきゃならねえんだよ。
Neither Sensei nor Rika-chan had anything to say to that.
とにかくそれを慎重に判断するために保護士さんが昨日訪れましたのです。
And Satoko dealt with them, put on the best, strongest smile she could manage and denied the abuse. Of course, she was probably being threatened. See, you say that, but now I'm actually thinking like... I'm now worried that while the uncle will do stuff like, go get me beer, go get me cigarettes and clean the house and stuff, and cook me food, which those are bad, right? Like don't get it twisted. Those are bad things. But now I'm worried that the abuse we expected, which was why we were really calling out, if that's made up, And like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Satoko was trying to outlast everything without asking for help. Satoko wanted to wait for Satoshi to come back home. And she outright denied the truth of the abuse. What an idiot. What? You're not really enduring it. Do you really think pretending like this will actually bring Satoshi back? Just stop it already. Satoshi, he abandoned you. And the fact that he hasn't shown up to save you now is proof, isn't it? So just stop it. Please stop being weird and pretending to endure it.
今した話はいいですね。他の子に喋ったら先生怒りますからね。
Yeah, right. Again, breach contract here. Chie-sensei gave me a warning though and left to go back to the teacher's lounge.
ケイチ、サトコのことをかわいそうな子なんて思わないでくださいです。サトコはしっかり生きていますです。サトコは
そんなの分かってる。俺たちのかけがえのない仲間だ。
サトコはまだ頑張っています。もう少し見守ってあげましょうです。相談所の人が今後も定期的に訪問すると言ってるのです。大変なことになったらすぐに助けてくれますよ。
大変なことになった後だろ。
Any more than that would have sounded like I was picking a fight, so I firmly swallowed my next words and went back to the classroom. Mion and Rena were talking to Satoko like they always did. It was a silly conversation, a humorous, even fun one, like it was any old day. If Satoko really said she could still endure it, then maybe I should do as Rika-chan said and watch over her. Maybe whatever help I offer will just go unwanted. I'm so like I'm tense in my body. I will need a massage after this. I like this is so frustrating. And don't like
お昼でございますわね。
don't take this as me disliking the game at all. No. This is amazing writing. I'm loving it. And I'm loving it because it's pissing me off. Does that make sense? The best thing an art piece can do is make you feel emotions. And boy howdy, is it making me feel emotions, right?
5人揃ってのお昼は久しぶりだね。やっぱりこうじゃないとダメだよね。
まったく同感。ほらほらケイちゃんも机寄せて。
Satoko brought her own desk over as well, grinning broadly. Even knowing nothing had been resolved, this exchange was pleasant and made me remember how fun it used to be.
いつまでもリカにお弁当を作ってもらっては悪いですわね。いいのですよ。サトコのお弁当を作るのは僕の楽しみなのです。
Rika-chan's such a good girl. Having such a good friend must be so reassuring.
僕に大きなハンバーグを入れて、サトコには焦げたのを入れて。サトコだけかわいそうでニパー。
There's the noise. I take it back. Well, she's Rika-chan after all.
ほらほら、見て見て。今日はほら、オムライスなんだよ。マッシュルームとか美味しそうだよね。はう。いつもながらお見事なお手前でございましたよ。いつお嫁に行ってもおかしくない腕前ですわね。お嫁を食べると。
What? No. What? That's cannibalism. Stop that.
レナにお嫁は NG ワードだね。
Okay.
以後控えるように。
ほんのちょっぴり反省しましたよ。
ところでミオンの弁当はなんだよ。 今日のはまた趣が違って期待大だな。
おじさんはまったりと夕べのおかず詰め合わせね。煮物がいい感じなんだよ。
Yo, some nice thick stew.
ほら、大根の色はかなりいいでしょ。
Frick, I love daikon radish.
美味しそうなのです。
I should make stew.
煮物は一晩寝かせてからが真骨頂だな。これはかなりいけそうだ。よって聡子の分はなし。俺が全部食って感想を聞かせるから黙って見てろ。
なんですって。私の分もおよこしなさいな。
Elbow, punch, headbutt. I'll use my knees too. Oria! That's the closest I've seen a sprite.
密着距離まで入れば私の有利は動きませんわね。ケイチさんの分のお大根が実に美味しいですわ。
ちくしょう。バトル開始時から密着でいきなりコンボとは無念。
This little exchange. How long had it been? Looked like they'd end up going with the wait and see approach, but maybe her uncle had realized he'd gone a little too far and would dial it back now. If her treatment improved a little, would that be a good thing? Satoko was grinning wider than I'd ever seen her as she chomped down on her mouthful of daikon she plundered from me. Did it really taste that good? Hello? What? Why are we doing this CG here then? She was somewhat cute like that. Wait, and just as I'd done many times, I grabbed her head and started petting it. What? I feel like that expression was not matching the music and tone. Catch, smack, flip-flop, clatter, clatter.
さとこちゃん？
It was so sudden that for a moment I didn't know what had happened. The back of my hand was stinging. I went to pet Satoko's head and then she hit my hand. Okay. Well, here's our sign that it's not stopped.
どうしたの、さとこ。
Satoko was scratching at her head, as though a pimple or something had appeared and it became itchy. It was so sudden and so unprovoked that I didn't understand what had happened.
どうしたさとこ。
At some point, her body had been covered in a thin layer of sweat, and her breathing had turned ragged. When I pet her head, did she not like it? It's a trauma response. She's having a trauma response.
お前、頭撫でられるの嫌いだったっけ？
Once again, slowly, I held out the palm. Oh, don't do it! Don't do it again! I held out the palm of my hand and brought it close to Satoko's head. The instant the palm of my hand touched her head, there was a shock like static electricity, and Satoko began to howl. What the frick was that noise? Thud, slam. She grabbed my arm in both hands as if trying to fling off a snake trying to cling to her. As if trying to throw away something dirty, she threw it violently. It happened too suddenly for me to react. I hit the desk behind me and both it and I fell to the floor. The classroom fell deathly silent. As Satoko bellowed, it sounded like she was in the throes of death and she unsteadily backed away. What the frick? Then she threw up the food she'd just eaten. She vomited it all back up. I'm not saying that. The sound of Satoko's vomit hitting the floor rang through the classroom.
大丈夫かよ、さとこ。具合でも。
Hey, maybe we should report this. I reached out a hand and she swatted it away with all her might. With such extreme strength that I fell onto the floor again. Satoko put both her hands on her head as though protect. Okay, no, she was hit on the head. She was bashed in on the head. That's what it was. And us touching it reminded her of it. And, probably also hurt, right? Satoko put both hands on her head as though protecting it, groaned some more and took a few steps back. She vomited from the pain. And then she began swinging both hands around. Students in nearby seats were forced to evacuate. She grabbed anything within reach. Bento boxes, chairs, threw them, tossed them, and flung them about. Oh God, can I, like... I've been in classrooms like this. It's terrifying.
ちょっとやめなよ、さとこ。あんた、どうしちゃったの？
So this is very clearly a first-time thing. So no, the abuse is real, for sure this time. She screamed as if Mion's words caused her physical pain. No one spoke a word to her. All the students were withdrawing behind us, leaving Satoko alone in the corner of the classroom. Around her, there were desks and chairs all over the floor. Bento lay scattered. It was terrible, and no one's going to call the teacher. All I could hear was Satoko's ragged breaths and the voices of the cicadas. That wasn't an "I'm sorry for what happened." That's a trigger response for when she was hit, probably. The strings of tension loosened around Satoko. And maybe she suddenly grew scared of her own actions because she started trembling and gave a word of apology. But nobody knew just who that apology was directed towards. Her uncle. That's what it was. So for now, I decided to answer as everyone's representative.
いや、そっちこそ大丈夫か？
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
Yeah, she's working herself back up now. Oh God. Our words didn't match each other at all. Satoko hugged her shoulders and back she went. Bang! She ran into the locker with cleaning supplies in it. When you say into, do you mean inside of? Or do you mean like she smacked it? Even that made her give a little yelp. The impact caused the bucket atop the locker to fall, making a loud... Oh my God, this is just the worst! Making a loud sound, and that scared Satoko most of all. She almost jumped out of her skin, grabbing a bunch of the curtain in her hands. Nobody spoke to her. They could only look, not even remembering to blink. And that's, again, she's just repeating from the trauma. The "it wasn't me" wasn't this. It wasn't me who called child services. Satoko, what? What on earth? I stood up, took a step away from everyone, and approached Satoko. All right, there's two potential things he could do. He might hug her to calm her down, which is not the best action, but it's better than the alternative of slapping her. Don't do that. Don't do that.
何があったんだ？
Talking is also probably not the best choice, but it's still fine.
だから私知らないです。私知らないです。違うからもう嫌です。やめてください。許して
落ち着けよ、サトコ。俺がわかるか？
もう嫌です。
So, hey, it'd be real nice if we had a teacher in here to record this for child services. Every time I took a step forward, she grasped the curtains more tightly and cried out.
サトコ、俺だよ。ケイチだ。わかんないのか？
I'm terrified of him calling himself Nini and her screaming worse.
お前に危害なんか加えない。だから落ち着けって。大丈夫だ。俺はお前の味方だって。
助けて。怖いのやだ。気持ち悪いのやだ。
Suddenly, my shoulders were grabbed and I was dragged backward. Teacher? No, Rena!
ごめんケイチくん。ケイチくんはちょっと後ろに行ってて。
After pulling me back, she ran towards Satoko in my place.
大丈夫だよさとこちゃん。もう怖いことなんかないよ。
Is it because I'm a man? Oh no.
ほら安心して。やだやだやだ。もうやだやだ。でもやだ。にーにー。にーにー。助けて。助けて。にーにー。助けてよ。
As she gripped the curtains and kept calling for Nini, she continued to wail about being forgiven for something and to be saved from something. What is this? Mio gnashed her teeth and groaned, and there were tears falling from her firmly closed eyes.
どうなってんだよこれ。昨日で全部終わったんじゃないのか。今日からまた元の生活に戻っていくんじゃないのか。ミオミオ。
Crash! There was a crazy sound. Ren had taken the cleaning supply locker and kicked it down to the ground. Everyone stood surprised at Rena's unexpected act of brutality. After that, Rena embraced the bawling Satoko from behind and started crying with her stifled.
レナ、どうした？
ごめんケイチくん。ちょっと
Yeah.
黙ってて。
Yeah, I think you need to realize that we're not helping.
今のはなんだよ。どうしたんだよ。サトコから何か聞いたのか。
Dude, you have to calm down. A loud, angry male voice is the worst thing right now. And here's the thing. I don't know if Keiichi has put that together.
何を聞いたんだよ。
サイナー黙ってろって言ってんでしょ。
No, absolutely fair. Rena's raw, hostile emotion hit me like a brick. It was no more than a momentary howl of emotion for Rena. It was more than that for me. She had shown me what was behind all that emotion, what was in her heart.
さとこちゃん。やだやだやだやだ。もうやだやだやだ。許して。何もできなかった私たちを許して。
I just don't understand how during this whole time, like, there's a lot of students in the room. No one's gone to get a teacher or a principal, any adult in the building.
ごめんね。ごめんね。
Forgive us for being unable to do anything. Rena's words made me feel as though the blood vessels in the back of my head were all suddenly turning to ash. My vision grew distant, blurred with gray, and the world lost its color. I thought we could save Satoko. But though I knew it'd be the sooner the better, I thought there was no time limit for doing that. I never dreamed that we could be too late. I'd been making a huge mistake. I thought Satoko could be hurt, but never that she'd break. It was such a huge mistake. People, they break. Thinking that they don't is absolutely absurd. We needed to save Satoko. We needed to save her before she broke. That fatal lapse in awareness had brought this on. Whose fault was it? That went without saying. Ours. We all took on the duty of saving Satoko, but we were negligent to the point of laziness. In that sense, this was the inevitable result. Even if this didn't happen today, and it happened tomorrow, or the day after, or next week, we would have just sat around doing nothing until that day. So this was the obvious result. I slumped down to my knees, just as Mio and Rika-chan had done, and I too closed my eyes tight and couldn't stop myself from sobbing.
何の騒ぎですか?
Yeah, how was the fucking curry? Sure we're taking your time eating that, huh?
ちょっと何があったんです?
The teacher came, and her face screwed up at the terrible spectacle before her. The instant she realized the teacher was here, Satoko went through another complete change. She wiped her face with the curtains and, like nothing happened, smiled. Oh my god. Oh my god.
これは一体何事ですか?
No, 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 we can't do this!
ちょっとレナさんと喧嘩になってしまっただけですのよ。お弁当をめぐってちょっぴり大暴れなんですの。
We have so many witnesses. Don't believe her.
ね。
Rena didn't nod in reply, but then, since Satoko wished it, she nodded without strength. The rest of the class couldn't keep up with her extreme changes. We all just stared in a daze.
ちょっと悪ふざけをしただけなんで皆さん度肝を抜かれすぎでございますわね。
Satoko would probably sweep the whole thing under the rug. For what? Her heart is torn to pieces. So what else? You wanted your Nini to help, didn't you? But unfortunately for you, Satoshi doesn't ever intend on coming back. It's never that easy. He won't just conveniently show up and save you. So you don't have to wait for him anymore. You can cry, beg for help, and you can run away. I'm not doing that noise.
私たちが無力だから。
Mion suddenly said that. She spoke then those few words that had tormented me countless times. Those words were a spell, and when I heard them, my whole body suddenly regained its calm. My emotions all slipped away like they had been there, they'd never been there, like a wave departing. And then the world's color flipped inside out. Are we having a moment? My field of view expanded. My head grew remarkably cold. I felt like my mind's volume had grown even wider than the classroom we were in. At the time, my soul was doubtless... Wait, I'm sorry. This music sounds like Kirby music. At the time, my soul was doubtlessly no longer in the small, petty vessel of my head, but floating in the air a little bit above it. It was a mysterious feeling of release. I broke free of the cramped confines of my skull. I stretched out my roots in all directions as far as I wanted to. It was a strange feeling, and one that I'd never felt ever before. An odd sense of exhilaration. My sharpened senses caused me to transcend. Okay. Here's what I think. I think Keiichi just passed out, and he's tripping. My mind was sharper than a knife's edge, and I let myself I immediately decided that spending the time to let myself be crushed with grief would be an absolute waste. I erased all the garbage information from my brain. I expelled the pointless emotions presenting obstacles to action.
お前は呪ってろ。自分の無力さをいつまでも。
え?
If I could have taken back what had happened by crying about it, I'd have cried all day. But the fact was, this is how things... Are we going to his house with a baseball bat? But the fact was, this is how things had turned out. I couldn't take back what had happened. The top priority then would be to prevent the situation. Oh my god, are we doing it ourselves? Wait, no. Is this the moment where he realizes we have to take action? If that's the case, I'm so ready. The top priority, then, would be to prevent the situation from worsening further and to sever the chains of misfortune. Until today, I've been looking at things so narrow-mindedly I could scarcely believe it. To save Satoko, the only thing to do was to save Satoko. That's the only thing I thought about. I didn't allow myself to realize the most basic, direct... Oh my god, are we doing this? The most basic, direct, and most certain way of removing the source of Satoko's unhappiness. No. Actually, I realized it yesterday. But as for the means, Oh my god, we're doing it! As for the means, I'd relied on some stupid curse from some dumb deity. I never considered carrying out the task myself. Let's go! I would. I now understand why you're transcending. I would obliterate Satoko's uncle. There were plenty of ways to do it. This was a task that held infinite methods. Ironically, the method of saving Satoko required mostly money, but the method of killing that man pretty much took no money at all. I could kill him with the least amount of investment, the least amount of money suited to him. It was only the weight of his life. I kept eliminating needless, worthless information from my head, replenishing it with only the knowledge I'd need to achieve my goal. I used every cell in my brain to think about how I'd kill him. The way I killed him didn't matter. I would allow any method, from whatever time and whatever country, as long as it ended in a quick and certain death. If I were to have an additional condition, it would be to not get caught. Removing him was an act designed to return the peaceful times we had with Satoko. If I was arrested in exchange for the removal, then we might as well have killed each other. With only him gone, we'd go back to our normal lives. That was my supreme objective. My ultimate goal. Kill him. Definitely. But definitely don't leave evidence either. Two alternatives at odds with one another. The condition of not leaving a trace back to me automatically narrowed the number of murder methods. No witnesses was an absolute must. Fortunately, given the right time in Hinamizawa, there would be nobody around. I mentally reconstructed the land around Satoko's house, the number of pedestrians different at different times, the movement algorithm of the neighbors. Would I lure him out or charge at him? What would my weapon be? When and where would I carry this out? Where? It needed to be somewhere I wouldn't leave a trace. When? I need to be as soon as possible for Satoko's safety without wasting even a millisecond. This is absurd, completely absurd. When I thought about it this way, it struck me how easy the act of killing was. If I could leave evidence, if I was just going to kill him, well, anyone could easily turn into a murderer. But our reason prevented that. It told us doing so would get us arrested for sure. In the end, being arrested by the police was the final thing preventing people from committing homicide. Absurd! If you went all the way out into the very middle of the ocean, you wouldn't leave any trace at all. Well, anyone knew that. Anyone would drop those that they hated into the depths if they knew that. It was all too easy to simply remove him. I could leave class right now, grab a metal baseball bat, or attack him from the schoolyard. Go to his house and attack him. Is it time? Estimated time would be 25 minutes. If I wanted us to kill each other, it wouldn't even be minutes. I could do it in 1,500 seconds. I knew just how much his continued existence depended on me. He was nothing. I could expel him from this world within just 1,500 seconds after making up my mind. For when I decided what I wanted to do, he had only 1,500 seconds. Actually, if I ran full speed to his house, the number would go down even further. But he was alive. He was still a part of this world this very moment, having torn Satoko's body and mind to shreds. Why? Because I was letting him live. I was permitting him to live, so he was alive. If I rescinded that permission, he would be evacuating this mortal coil within 1,500 seconds. You think I'd let you live to breathe even 1,500 more seconds of air? I'm taking that permission back, right here, right now. You'd better thank me for letting you live till today. However, I actually needed more than 1,500 seconds. I'm not just gonna end you. Getting back our old lives is far more important. It's only you I'll be cleanly cutting out of this world. They won't find a culprit. I'll forget that I dirtied my hands on the likes of you as naturally as I brush my teeth before bed. So to do that, I'll make a special exception of you and give you more than 1,500 seconds. I'll give you special permission to keep on living as long as you have until I can construct the perfect plan for your murder. Wait, Keiichi. You can't let that time go to waste. Yeah, I know. I'll kill him quickly. I'll remove him with certainty. I won't even waste much time to perfect that plan. Think back. Tomorrow is Watanagashi, isn't it? Last year, on the night of Watanagashi, her aunt died. Her head was busted open by some deviant, and her brains splattered everywhere. Well, that's it. He's someone who deserves to be given death on the night of Watanagashi. Hey, Oyashiro-sama, you call yourself a guardian, but you didn't protect Satoko. Cursing Satoko's family for the damn stuff is your own business. But now you've made Satoko unhappy when she didn't have anything to do with it. I, Keiichi Maibara, hereby denounce you, the guardian deity of Hinamizawa, a failure. We don't need you. Go back to the deepest, darkest part of your shrine this year. Besides, if you had just cursed and killed both aunt and uncle last year, none of this would have ever happened. The curse this year, it's not on you. I'll be the one deciding. It won't be the three families control the serial deaths behind the scenes. No, not some vague people who I can't tell if they're buffoons or not. No, this time I'll be the one to deliver divine judgment. So don't get in my way. Just watch. Stay quiet and watch. I'll obliterate him. I'll wipe him off the face of the earth. I will stomp out his very existence. Go away, disappear, and die. I'll tear your heart apart just like you did to Satoko. I'll have your blood as payment. Whoa!
Keiichi-kun, 大丈夫?
That was pretty cathartic, I'll say. It'll be even more cathartic when I blow his frickin' brains in. Rena, Mion, and Rika-chan were looking after me. Had I fallen to the floor? Oh my god, I was also right.
急に倒れたからびっくりしたよ。うなされてなかった？
I think I had a brain aneurysm.
うなってたよ。
Yeah, I might have had an aneurysm. Oh my god.
黄色い声で話しかけるな。
Oh my god. My friends gave a start and backed away.
なんだよ。
Oh, we sound different. Rena and the others. They exchanged glances, unsure of what to say, and stood confused for a few moments.
今の
Right?
ケイイチ君の声。
当たり前だろ。
Rena gulped firmly and opened her mouth.
今一瞬ケイイチ君すごい目だった。
So they're seeing what we see sometimes. Huh.
目？光の角度でそう見えたんだろ。バカバカしい。
見間違いじゃないよ。あんな目初めて見た。
Okay, this is actually interesting. I couldn't tell if the eye thing was like diegetic or not. So the eyes are absolutely a diegetic choice. They are in universe, their eyes look messed up. It's not like an effect. Like, you know in Danganronpa when they get the weird swirly eyes? That's non-diegetic. That's like when you see friggin' what's her face? The mastermind of Danganronpa 1. I guess I shouldn't spoil because it's an unrelated series. When their eyes go crazy at the end of the game, that's non-diegetic. That's not an actual thing that's happening. It's just an art style thing. This is diegetic. The weird eye thing absolutely happens. It's not just meant to be that they look unfamiliar. They get weird eyes. What were these guys talking about? They've all been too scared of me lately.
前原圭一くんだよね。
What was Rena saying? Who else do I look like except Keiichi Maibara? The look I gave to her seemed to speak quite eloquently to those irritated thoughts. She understood and quickly apologized.
ごめん、気にしないでね。
So, tomorrow, huh? Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day. Emergency and D23. The D23 incident, isn't that right from Ace Attorney? 1,500 seconds, reached epiphany. Oh my god. Okay, well, I think, for one, we need to... Listen. I don't need I don't need the police hat right now. I need a drink. I need a drink. I need a drink. I need a drink so badly. I need a drink. I need a drink. I don't know how to reconcile with what's going on. What's the emergency? What am I even gonna do for a thumbnail for this? Like, I legitimately, I had a hard time with the last one with Satoko, because I feel like I like, what do you do? June 18th, 1983. Abuse issues regarding Satoko Hojo urgent. We propose that Satoko Hojo... Wait, what? We propose that must be taken into immediate custody based on the items below. Family situation. Life with adopted father who recently returned to Hinamizawa had already turned disastrous, and she is currently subject to unendurable physical and mental abuse from father. Wait, so they know? Child Consultation Center's response. Child Probation Officer was dispatched yesterday on the 17th of the prefecture, but because of the 77 case, changed to continued coaching and cautionary action. Unfortunately, the Consultation Office does not properly understand the situation. Okay, so no, they're trying to push it through. Status of concerned child. Child already appears to be suffering from an outbreak of something close to neurosis or manic depression. Okay, no, this is right after. Oh, no, this is after what happened today already. If her unstable pubescent mind is negatively stimulated by stress, it will put her development of healthy body and mind at risk. It's true. Trauma is terrible for the person's body when it's growing. This cannot be allowed to continue from a humane standpoint. 4. Allegations made to the family court. We propose, based on the above items, that Satoko Hojo should be immediately taken into protective custody. She should be secured temporarily under emergency. Yeah, good. Right? Emergency allegations of the family court under Article 28. Request emergency coordination between all related agencies. Good. Right? But now what's D2344? Children with special needs. Oh. Okay, wait, are we actually getting into my thing about her having special needs? Okay. I don't know what that could possibly be. Child name, Satoko Hojo. No year. Residence, Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone. Consultation circumstances. Telephone SOS from child of child abuse. Okay, abuse situation. Child claims she's being physically abused by her... Oh no, this is in the past. Okay, family structure. Adoptive father, real mother, older brother, child in question. Okay. Note, adopted father and real mother entered family registry. Okay. Child is the daughter of the mother's previous husband. Child Consultation Center's response. On the day of the child's telephone consultation, the center called the child's school and asked of the situation. On that day, child welfare on duty visited the child's house and conducted an interview. The adopted father sincerely listened to instruction and agreed to take child-raising workshops in the city from now on. As part of the suggested coaching, the center will continue to observe. Other notes. As a result of numerous counseling sessions at the city's education consultation office regarding the child, we learned there's a high possibility the cause of the child's excessive distrust towards her adopted father was the result of a lack of communication. The abuse she claimed hadn't actually taken place. She had made a false report to distance herself from her adopted father. Below is a note written in pencil by the person on duty at the time. The problem appeared to be more with the daughter. Chief Investigator F. That's not Furude, is it? I swear to God. Of the city's educational consultation office said that most of her stories of abuse were likely fabrications. They decided to shift the focus of the coaching to the child. Be cautious not to take everything the child says as truth. Yeah, but I feel like here's okay. So yeah, that one's just kind of reiterating our statement. But after with this emergency, right? Like that's them. Like after what happened today, yeah, that neuroses, that like extreme outbreak, you can't ignore that. Like that was a nuclear situation that happened in that room, and yeah, immediate withdrawal from there. We're still gonna kill this guy though. I hope to God. Listen, I was kind of expecting there to be a chapter where Keiichi's the killer. Heck, there might be more than one, but if it's gonna be this one, I'll be very happy. Because if there's any character I want killed, it's this guy. I hate him so much. I hate him so much. How am I gonna actually sleep tonight? Like what am I gonna do, man? Like this is it's so frustrating. And that's the point. This game is good. Game's good. Thank you all for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time for chapter 9 of Tatarigoroshi, as we hopefully go and just come up with the perfect plan to kill that guy. Thank you all. We'll see you next time. Ciao. Yo.